What's up, you guys? This is Rob from Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, we're going to be taking a look at Khora's most recent changes as of hotfix 22.18.8. I'm going to go ahead and read you all of the stuff that we have in the hotfix, then we'll go ahead and jump into the simulacrum and give some of them a test. Most of them I'm excited about, but some of them I'm having a little bit of a hard time dealing with, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. So, Beast of the Sanctuary, hotfix 22.18.8. Khora changes. Ability casting times have been shortened across the board. Natural talent is always great, but the base animations needed shortening, and let me tell you, they feel a lot quicker, and I'm very happy about that. The new passive, the Ferocious Kavat Venari, fights by Khora's side and provides her with a speed boost while active. If killed, Venari will reappear after a short time. Yes, I was so excited about this because of the fact that, number one, we get Venari, we can actually, well, we'll talk about the resummoning in a second, but we don't have to revive them in the heat of battle, so there's no like having to figure out where they are or yada yada yada. Legitimately, they'll either come back after a short while, because sometimes I forget to recast Venari, if that's going to be the truth, and sometimes maybe they die in an area that's a little bit rough to get to, and you don't need to deal with that. They'll just come back on their own. Let's move on to the first ability. Oh, but the thing to note about this is she no longer gets the armor bonus from multiple pets. She just gets the movement speed bonus, which I'm like, damn, I like the armor. But let's go on to Whipclaw. Whipclaw will apply to and benefit from the melee combo counter. This is absolutely fantastic. I do believe it applied with the melee combo counter before, but it didn't add to the melee combo counter. And the most important part about that is because when you're using things like Drifting Contact and you've got like Naramons, what is it called? Naramons, the thing that lets you keep the counter up for longer and it ticks down instead of completely shutting off. Sometimes you can build up a lot of stacks with that, which means that Whipclaw is going to deal a shit ton of damage. But on top of that, it's going to prevent the timer from going down, and that is extremely important. All enemies in the Strangle Dome will take half of Whipclaw's attack damage when one enemy in the Strangle Dome is hit with Whipclaw. And you have to remember that enemies that are caught in Strangle Dome are dealt twice the amount of damage. So the enemy that you strike is gonna get a big chunk of damage, and then everything else in the actual Strangle Dome itself will take Whipclaw's normal damage. That's pretty cool. Hitting an ensnared enemy with Whipclaw will cause the living metal to propagate. Number one, I hate that terminology. I hate the whole propagate, and you'll see in a bit, but it's kind of cool. Ensnare, now the changes they've made to Ensnare, I'm going to be honest with you, not the fondest of. Ensnare affects multiple enemies. When an enemy is ensnared, the living metal will propagate and pull in every enemy within range for 75% reduced duration. The living metal ensnaring enemies will then propagate a second time to pull in another wave of enemies within range. Procs no longer wake up ensnared enemies. Telling you, sometimes you make videos on the internet and DE's like, oh, I see you, Rob. Thank you. We got you. We'll get to Ensnare and like the positives and negatives of it once we get in game, because that's the first thing I tried out. I was literally on a call with Mogamu bitching about it, and I was like, let's see how it goes. Now, Venari. Venari is now a passive ability. Venari is simply there, no casting required. If Venari dies, she will respawn in 45 seconds, or you can summon her back by using the Venari ability for an energy cost of 50 that scales with the respawn timer. That's fantastic. New Venari ability description. Command Venari to focus on a target. I love it. Hold to cycle between attack, protect, and heal postures. If Venari is killed, use the ability to revive her instantly. Venari fights independently until she receives a command. Khora's third ability, Venari, overrides Venari's target as indicated by the icon over Khora's head. Commanding Venari while in the heal posture without a valid target will command Venari to heal Khora. Yes! Straight out the gate, just heal me, baby! Companion mods like Animal Instinct have been fixed, so they will work properly on Venari. Venari deals slash damage to enemies instead of impact damage. Ability strength mods on Khora now affect Venari abilities. Venari's just getting better and better and better! So excited! Then we've got Strangle Dome. Change casting animation to better reflect that Strangle Dome is cast from Khora's body placement, and chains now reflect custom accent color! Shit! DE. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my god, I just had a little gasm. I had a gasm. Once an enemy dies in the Strangle Dome, they will drop to the floor, making room for new victims. Now, in the patch notes, they're also talking about Sanctuary Onslaught changes, and we'll get to that. But I do need to address one major nerf. One major nerf that I feel was aimed specifically towards me, and I'm very upset about, DE. I'm extremely upset about. You've heard my cries over the chain colors and over the procs awakening enemies, but why you gotta Peculiar Bloom will now spawn a max of 5 flowers per target? Explain that to me. I need you to think over your lives and how you wronged me. But while you're thinking about that, let's go ahead and jump into some Khora gameplay. Alrighty, as you can see, we are back on the ship, and the main reason for that is I actually wanted to go ahead and compare stats between Venari and other Kavats. Now, the reason we're here is because the simulacrum doesn't always show certain mods applying, so it's nice to get back to home base, and let's go ahead and take a look at how everything pans out. So as you can see here on Aspen, we've got Link Health, we've got Link Armor, and then we've got Maul and Bites. Everything else is kind of just like extra little doodads here and there, so nothing too crazy, some precepts and whatnot. But as you can see, Aspen is sitting at 684 armor, 7.5% status, 86% crit chance, 6.4 times critical multiplier, and it's got 344 for the slash damage. Now, as you guys know, Venari got swapped over to slash damage as well, but as you can see, it's 984 for the armor. Instead of 684. So he's got a little bit, or she's got a little bit more armor. Same critical chance at 86%. The critical multiplier is the same, but the status chance is 30%. So it's doing a little bit more status damage out there. The health, of course, is 1758 on Aspen, which is a Smita. And then the sprint speed is 1, but as you can see here, Venari has 2046, and they've got a sprint speed of 1.1. So there's a good chunk there. And let's go ahead and take a look at the upgrades, because one of the things that I did not add in here is I have one spot open that I wanted, because it wasn't fair for me to compare when there was an extra mod slot. But as you can see, we have the Link Health, we have the Link Armor, we have Maul and Bite. So a lot of the same things on there. We have Pack Leader on there now, and we're going to test to see if that works out. But as you can see here, I'm going to actually toss in Hunter's Synergy for the crit link. So as you can see right here, it's got a nice boost to crit, and depending on whatever primary I have, I can actually give a bigger crit boost to Venari. It's not 100% necessary, but it's definitely a nice thing just to toss on. So let's go ahead and jump back into the simulacrum and start playing around with the abilities. Alright, so the first ability we're taking a look at Whipclaw, and really all we're looking for is the increased animation. As you can tell too, it is a lot easier to aim. Like, because of the fact that they were able to change it to kind of like be where your reticule is at the moment that it connects, it's a ton easier. So a lot of the times I've actually had to, what was I gonna say? Oh, and look! A 2.5 times multiplier. Ah! As you can see right there, so we've got a 2.5 times multiplier, and it seems there's one thing that I'm checking for is 71, 76. So what's actually happening is it's actually adding a tick for every enemy it hits, which is even better because you can build up, because now we're at like 86 right now. That's fantastic. They did a good job with Whipclaw. I'm very, very happy with that one. Now we're going to move on to the one that I'm not happy about, because this is going to be my realistic one. Now, one of the things that I was really kind of paranoid about is that they would mess up Ensnare. And to a degree, they messed up the way that I like to use Ensnare. And as I was chatting with Mogamu, he was like, I was telling him, like, okay, this is my issue with what they're trying to do with Ensnare. And he had kind of pointed out, well, it's because you like to optimize the way that something works as the way that it works. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. Because what I like to do before is I would go ahead and toss down an Ensnare. It would propagate an area, and basically what happened is Ensnare would over time pull in one enemy, then pull in another enemy, then pull in another enemy. So what you could do is, if you have a long duration, you could literally set up a choke point that lasted like 30 seconds. So no enemy would be able to get through that choke point for 30 seconds because it would keep pulling in enemies over time. With no limits. However, with the new Ensnare, it only propagates twice, and I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like right here. So as you can see, we Ensnare, right? We do that, propagates once, and then it propagates twice. So that was 2 propagations. Now, it's not going to propagate anymore. So after that initial propagation, it's done. However, you can cast Whipclaw on it to make it propagate again. So now you kind of have to babysit it a little bit more. Ooh, but wait, 43, okay. But it does synergize with Whipclaw a lot better. The only thing now is you can't kind of leave it there as a passive thing. It's no longer something that you can kind of leave at a choke point. You can leave it at a choke point and it'll gather enemies twice, but that's it. After the second one, it's not going to do it anymore. Now, the one thing that I did want to test, because I thought this was kind of weird and interesting. So, I noticed it when I was playing a little bit earlier. And what happens is it'll propagate. So that's 2 propagations, right? But if I crack it early, it'll actually propagate it again. So it's almost like if you set it up ahead of time. Come on, more? Is there any more? Okay. So if you set it up ahead of time, it'll actually continue. Nope, I guess the initial enemy died. But it looks like if you're able to strike the initial enemy, with more propagates, that'll actually store up those propagates, which I think is kind of interesting. Like, you know, I'll be able to cast the Ensnare, maybe whip it like 2 or 3 times and then walk away and know that it'll at least propagate a couple more times to be able to keep that area held down. So I'm gonna try that one more time. I'm gonna go ahead, do a little propagation action. So there's 2 propagations, right? So I'm gonna whip crack them 2, 3. I'm gonna do that like 3 times, and it's still pulling enemies in, which is nice. Any more enemies want to come and join, or did I already get too many? Maybe I got too many. Come on, join the party, and let's see if it continues to propagate. Yup, because of the fact that I actually loaded up its propagate, it continues to propagate more enemies. So as long as you kind of hit it a couple more times, like, it'll actually store up those propagations until enemies move into the area. So I'm a little bummed. That they've changed it so that it's not kind of like set it and forget it kind of thing. It's a little bit more active, which I don't hate. I don't like it as good as the last ones, but I don't hate it. Alright, now we're gonna do something kind of fucked up. Venari, I need you to die. Come on, Venari! Babes, come here. I need you to die so that we could see, get all these people. Bitch Venari. Okay, we're gonna test out, tapping the, oh, there they are. Ooh, and you can see the little icon above their head. Venari, are you gonna die? Venari, I need you to die, Venari. Do I just need to come back to you? Look at the cat though, and all of its procs, because Peculiar Bloom actually works off of it. Venari, just die! Die, Venari, die! Oh, okay. I think we're gonna need to change up the enemies with this. Because clearly, these guys are either don't want to kill Venari, because Venari is too beautiful and wonderful, or they're just incapable of doing it. So let's grab a Billy the Bombard real quick, and let's see if we can't get Venari dead. I know it's cruel, but you know, this is Sparta, and we need you to learn, babes. Well, we need to see how you perform. So let's go ahead and get this Bombard out. Come on, Venari, babes. I need you to tangle. Tangle with them. Venari, come on, take a hit. Let's go ahead and command him. I almost want to disarm him and see what happens. You have to hold this now for the disarm. Disarm him. Can you do before he dies? Yeah, Venari. All right, now I need you to die. Okay, the first part was a joke. No, I've ruined it! I've ruined it. I've ruined it. Venari's gonna end up killing him, isn't it? Okay, Venari, I need you to do something that's not that. Oh my god, Venari, if you kill him... Oh my god, you are literally gonna kill him before he dies, aren't you? Aren't you? Ah, fuck. Bullshit. Alright. Now, Venari, that you are weak, let's see what happens. Okay. Come on, bombard rocket to the face. Bombard rocket to the face, Venari. Okay, so Venari is now dead. And there is a timer over there that's a little duration timer. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh! That was like, there was no cast time to that. Did you see that? There was literally no cast time to that whatsoever. That is fantastic. That is really, really, really freaking good. So, no cast time, nothing weird about it. It's just like instantaneous. We'll see if we can get him to die one more time. If Venari is just not gonna... Venari's not gonna die. Well, thank you, Venari. But while we're at that, actually, let's go ahead and try to take a look if Pack Leader works. Because Pack Leader should trigger on melee damage. So let's see if Pack Leader now works with the Whip. Pack Leader does not work with the Whip. But it works with your melee weapon. So, Pack Leader is back in business if you want to run a little bit of a melee build with Khora. Fantastic. Now, you guys have already seen how Strangle Dome worked previously, so I don't think that I really need to show you guys the fact that you basically collect up a bunch of enemies and their allies will try to shoot them down. It's actually in the description now, but I want to go ahead and take a look at the animation, number one, and number two, I want to see how the whip kind of interacts with it. So, Strangle Dome. Alright. Oh. Oh. I don't feel like it's really hitting. Oh, there you go. You can actually, wait, you can crit with this? You can Y'all are giving me life, though. Y'all are really giving me life right now. Because of the fact that you can crit. Did you see that crit? Oh, this makes me happy. And the fact that they're not just kind of like dangling midair. I'm into it. Good freaking job. That was good. Let's see the cast speed just on its own again. Wait, are all the enemies dead? Wait, are all the enemies dead? I mean, that should have been a full 20. Alright, let's take a look. Wait, okay, let's see it. Is it like, is she like stomping the ground? It looks like she's stomping the ground. She's almost putting like her foot down, which is kind of cool. I wish it was a little more whip oriented, but you know what? That was a full 20 enemies that we got in there. So, let's go ahead and toss a little Ensnare on. Let that go ahead and propagate. Propagate, bitches, propagate. And then let's go ahead and toss down a Strangle Dome. And let's get these enemies down. Oh my god, this is... Okay, so, while these enemies are up in the air and dying like oh my, look at all these guys. This is great. I'm gonna test this out just a little bit more, because, you know, as you guys know, damage tends to fall off just a little bit at some points, but legitimately, this is looking up. This is very improved. I'm a little bit butthurt over Ensnare, but I'm not totally butthurt, you know what I mean? I wish it would still just propagate like slowly, naturally over time, but I mean, those enemies were handled pretty quickly. Yes, they were just butchers, but come on, let's be real. All in all, I think the changes are pretty gosh darn good. I'm loving how Venari works now with the it will naturally reappear over time because sometimes you forget. I love the fact that we can command it. That's definitely one of the things that I was really sad about losing when she swapped over to the different types. The whip feels a ton better. Ensnare is arguable. It's arguable. But it is pretty gosh darn good, so we'll do that. I'm gonna give this one a big thumbs up. I'll be playing it a lot more this weekend. We'll probably see it a lot on stream, mainly because of the fact that I actually really just enjoy playing her in general. But now there's some more interactivity between abilities, so I'm kind of impressed with that. All in all, leave your feelings in the comments below, and if you guys haven't already jumped into game to give her a shot, be sure you go and do that, because I think that aside from like Ensnare acting a little bit differently, which I think I can get over, and the fact that they nerfed my Peculiar Bloom, but my cat can apply Peculiar Bloom. But I think my cat could always apply Peculiar Bloom. I can't even talk now. I'm so angry. I think it's all pretty good. So leave all of your feelings down in the comments below. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch yo Queen of Snatch. That's right. That's what she is. She's the Queen of Snatch. She just snatches. See you guys next time. Bye.